Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. If you haven't been here before, my name is Rio and I talk about Jesus. I also have a blog that you can check out, and the link is on my channel homepage. So I've just been feeling the Holy Spirit on me a lot lately, and I wanted to talk today about the nature of God. And I think that there's a lot of people out there who really have like a rigid idea of God and what God is. But in order to understand who God is and how he operates, it's important to be connecting with him regularly. And it's also important to remember how creation started. It didn't start with the creation. It started with the Creator, and then the creation followed. So we have these two phases of the Creator and then his creation. And so therefore, the creation is under direct authority of the Creator, not the other way around. And I think people believe that God has to operate in this specific way. And that's why religions can get so rigid, and to the point where people feel like if they're not doing specific ceremonies and saying specific words and eating specific foods, and you know, like in the Bible, like I was reading in Acts and about how the new church that had just learned from Jesus, who had just been resurrected and ascended to heaven, this new budding church in Israel is trying to get started. It's trying to find more people who want to learn about Christ and what he stood for. But they're coming against these Jewish rulers again and again who just really want to oppress them and keep them tied down and keep killing them and stifling their efforts. So a lot of these Jewish leaders, they believed that what people like Paul and Peter and John were saying was blasphemous, and that these are the same people who were responsible for Jesus dying. And so they are people who are very close-minded, and they're very stuck in their ways, and they cannot see past. They want to feel like they're on a high horse. They want to feel like they have more knowledge than everyone else. And they don't feel like Jesus is the way and the truth and the life. And they only believe in like their ancestors like Abraham and Moses and Elijah, and they worship those ancestors. And God the whole time is just trying to get through to them again and again and again, like, hey, look, Jesus, I sent my son, Jesus, to save you guys. And just because he didn't look like you thought he was going to, doesn't mean he isn't the Messiah. Just because he didn't save you from oppression of Rome or whatever it was, it doesn't mean that he's not the one for you, the one that I gave for you. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world, he sent his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life." All that it takes is belief in Jesus and devoting your life to him, deciding you're not going to sin anymore, getting out of habits like social media, caffeine, addiction, lust, ego, pride, jealousy, taking every thought and making it obedient to Christ. If a thought comes in that doesn't belong, it's got to go. Chuck it out, because time is drawing near. The things on this planet are about to change a lot. And in the Bible, you will see that a new earth is going to be established, new heaven, New Jerusalem, where Jerusalem will be actually the center of the world, and Jesus will rule over the whole earth. And that's such a beautiful, beautiful concept. I was just standing at a stoplight trying to cross the road, and you know how they have like the symbol that says if you can walk or if you shouldn't walk? Well, I thought of the rules that we often impose on each other, and I thought, you know, rules don't exist to oppress us. Rules cannot take into account God and how big God is. So like, this is my analogy, is that when you're at a stoplight, if you're just focusing on whether the little like symbol says you can walk or not, and you're not focusing on your surroundings, you might get hit by a car because a car might be turning or something. So in the same way, God does not operate under human rules. And rules exist they were made by people, right? But they cannot take into account when Jesus will come back. And a lot of people will miss that happening because they will be waiting for a very specific thing to happen, or they will be waiting for a giant sign in their face to say, the end is here, you know? But those people really aren't taking into consideration the fact that God is bigger than rules, and we should not be dependent on human rules to live our lives, right? So that's mainly what I wanted to convey in this video. God operates outside of human rules and human religions and science and all these things. He's just greater than those things. And if you can open your heart to him, that's really what he needs, because then you won't be so logically stuck in your mind and feeling like everything needs to look a certain way. Like, most people are deceived because they think that their physical reality is everything. But what's much bigger than the physical reality that you see is the spiritual reality happening behind the scenes. And what's even more real than us, than you and me, is God. So let's just think about that today. Let's think about keeping an open heart and being willing to go wherever the Holy Spirit wants us to go at any point. That's why it's called the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit implies that there's a spirit. It's not just some words written on a page, but it's alive, and it dances, and it flows, and it moves. It goes wherever it wants to. It's in charge of itself. God is in charge of himself. He's the ultimate authority. He's the Alpha. We are just following him, right? So we cannot decide where he's going to go or what he's going to do next. He might totally change your life tomorrow. You never know. He might come back down to earth tomorrow. We never know what he's going to do next. So it's very important to always be listening and to always keep your heart open to Jesus. All right, you guys, that's all I got for today. Have a great day. All right, bye. God bless you.